Welcome. Welcome everybody to the Kohatsu Cave of Games. I'm Nathan, and it's been a while, hasn't it? Since I've last done a video, I've gotten a whole smorgasbord full of games that I want to talk to you about. The game that I pulled off the shelf to talk to you about today is Kemet. Kemet is made by Madigo Games. I think it was brought over stateside by Asmodee. Madigo is responsible for Cyclades, and I am not a fan of Cyclades too much. I'm sorry to say. But I love the artwork, and I love the production quality of it. The early talk on BGG was trying to compare the two, and it's not fair to either game to compare the two because they're not the same at all. Madigo is 2 to 4 players, playable in under 2 hours, and it is a good take on a Risk-style game, Risk the board game, to where people get troops, they skirmish and attack each other to get victory points, and ultimately the person to get a certain number of victory points will win. In the game, it highly favors attacking. You can still turtle and try to defend and hold points, but you're not going to develop the victory point engine fast enough if you're just turtling. The game really rewards attacking, which is what I love. Since there's no turtling, the game morphs quickly and is over in under 2 hours. The reason why I like it so much, and everybody that I've played with like it, is it takes that Risk concept of you get troops and you send them out and attack, and it adds another kind of Euro-ish layer on top of it, to where you can also build up a tech tree. At the start of the game, everybody has access to 3 different colored pyramids. And depending on the level of that pyramid, you have access to that color tech. To where one tech deals with resource generation, one tech is attack, and one tech is defense. But they're all first come, first serve. So if you really want that tech out of the 4 people playing, then you've got to position yourself to be the first one to get it, or you're going to lose out. And there are techs that award victory points by themselves, but most of the techs will help you in-game, either by getting more resources or when you fight. I'll explain more at the table, but it's this really neat concept to where everything in the game is limited. First come, first serve techs. Everybody can generate resources at different ways, but there's a cap to how much you can earn in a turn. So even if all 4 players are earning the maximum number of resources per turn, which is just gold in this game, you're capped. You can't get any more at the start. So everybody's going to be dispersing their funds differently, either by researching higher level pyramids, or buying tech, or summoning troops, or attacking and moving. Oh, I like it. It's good. So I'll bring it to the table. I'll show you the components, which are super awesome because they're all like Egyptian and art-tastic. I don't know. I'll give you some basic strategies, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the game. So if you're not going to follow me to the table, then get Kemet. Really do. If you like attacking in a Risk-style setup, but you hate people that just turtle and just sit in Australia and you cannot get them, which is me, I'll admit. But in this game, you attack, and when your troops die, you can spawn them back immediately and just keep on going until the game's over. Really great. So with that, I'll take it over to the table so I can show it off. Alright, so here we are at the game table. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'll talk about some components, key concepts for the game, and then I'll go right into game setup and then turn structure. This is the game board. Every player will have their own city, so this will belong to a player, that will belong to a player. There's 3 sections in each city, and there's a little space for a pyramid in each. The cities are all equidistant from each other, which is pretty cool when you deal with an area control game. So if I'm here and I want to attack this guy, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. Likewise, if I'm here and I want to attack this guy up here, it is also 1, 2, this is one big, same space, 3, 4. So all the cities are equidistant from each other, so movement is pretty cool that way. The first game concept to go over will be units. Everybody in the game, there's just one unit type soldier, but each color comes with a different mold, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, you see it in like Risk Legacy. It's also here. So green is like this crazy like alligator guy with a pike, and red is like this snake hood guy with crazy knife things. Everybody in the game gets 12 of their unit type, and it's a finite number, so every color is only going to have 12 units. The general concept with units is every time that a unit gets placed on the table, that is considered a troop. A troop is just a bunch of guys together. The game limit for a troop is 5. You can only have 5 units per space. When you activate a troop to move them, you can break them up and move only a couple people, or you can move all 5. The only restriction is they can't ever form a troop of more than 5. So if I've already got 3 guys here, I cannot move these guys into that section because they'd create an illegal troop of 8 people. That is the general concept of how your guys group in the game and move around. It's just the rule of 5. You can only have up to 5 people together. The next game concept to go over will be pyramids. As I said, when you own a city space, you'll have pyramids in the city. The level of the pyramid is what's showing on the top of the die. If the pyramid is not on the board yet, it is considered a level 0 white, which basically means there's no function to it. The purpose of pyramids is to gain access to technology. If I've got a level 2 white pyramid in my city, then I can acquire level 2 white tech. That's the whole theory behind the pyramids. During the game, you'll level up pyramids to gain access to better tech. That's the concept with pyramids. Even though they're D4s, you never roll them or anything. They just look really cool. Another concept to the game are these DI cards, they're called, or Divine Intervention cards. You'll draw 1 at the beginning of the game, and you'll draw 1 at the beginning of each turn. And they're no hand limit, and they basically can change the game as one-shots. You play them, and then they get discarded. They'll all have symbols in the lower left-hand corner. Like this little symbol means you could play this on somebody else's turn. This cancels a battle. This you play during the day on your turn to earn $2. Everything in this game that refers to money is the Ankh symbol, so this means you get $2. And this means you can only use it in battle, and the sword symbol means strength. So you play this card to give you +1 strength in battle. There's some DI cards that have an Ankh symbol themselves. That means you have to pay $1 to play this card, but you get 2 strength instead of 1. That's another game concept, is your DI cards. They're always a free action to play, and the card tells you when you can play them. There's also a reference book that comes with the game, so if you're confused with the icons, you can just ask for the book. The final concept to go over will be your techs. This is definitely the AP overwhelming section of the game, because this is like your engine building Euro aspect of the game. You gain access to your tech tree based on the color of your pyramid and the level of the pyramid, but there's no prerequisites. You can just level up to blue 4 and pick up a blue 4 tech. You don't need a 1, 2, and 3 first kind of deal. I usually lay them out when I lay out my game by their tech level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's just shown by the little onk next to the on the tile in the upper left. This is a level 1 tech. That's a level 2, 3, and 4. As you can see, there's a lot of icons on them, and the game does come with a reference book to help you out on figuring out what the icons mean. But just as a quick iconography check, this guy, when you get this tech, during a battle, you get 1 strength if you're the defender, if you get attacked. That's what the iconography of that card means. So it is pretty self-explanatory, but I mean, there's a lot of techs, and with a few exceptions, they're all unique. So it's all first come, first serve. There are some level 1 techs that are duplicates, and you cannot acquire both of them yourself. You can only have 1 tech, or 1 copy of the tech. Somebody else will have to pick up the other one. The last concept with techs are the creatures. As you can see, I always set up the game like this and put the creatures on top of the tech card that provides the creature. But basically, if you grab this scarab guy, for example, he awards you this crazy, awesome, cool-looking scarab guy. Oh, he looks so cool. And basically, he links himself with the troop as soon as you buy this tech, and you've got a troop in your city. And while it's linked, the scarab will give that troop 2 strength and 2 movement. The little leg is movement. I'm going back over here to show the troop guys. So say this is my city, and I just acquired that tech. That scarab will just join that troop, and whenever that troop moves, the scarab moves. It's pretty much that simple. The scarab does not count towards the total number of 5 guys. He's just an additional force. So you can have up to 5 guys in a space, plus your creature. Each troop can only be linked to 1 creature at a time. And once all the troops are defeated in combat, the creature also goes back to your personal supply area, and he'll come out on a future round. He isn't just like a one and done. He'll come back. That pretty much explains the text. So that's it for game concepts. Let's go dive into the game a bit more. As you see on the board, there's spots for cities, and there's these temples everywhere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 temples, and then that sanctuary is not considered a temple. The main goal of the game is to attack other players, to gain victory points through attacking, or to hold temples. The temples will start the game. All of the temples will have this VP marker on them. It's a temporary VP, and whoever controls the temple gains a VP for holding that temple, and if somebody comes and takes that temple from you, you just give them that VP marker. If nobody controls a temple, then the VP marker goes back on the temple. So, speaking of VP, let's get right into how you score victory points in the game, and then I'll explain the turn structure. So, this one I just talked about. This is the temporary VP when you control a temple itself. If you get a level 4 pyramid, then the level 4 pyramid grants you a temporary VP marker as well. Level 4. It's temporary because if somebody attacks your city and takes that space from you that level 4 pyramid is on, then they get that level 4, they get the temporary VP marker, as well as access to level 4 tech in your color. So there's a definite incentive to go after another player who's teching up blue if you're not, because you'll get the VP from them and you'll get access to their tech. These two are round, indicating that they can change hands. The rest of the VP in the game are square, and square are permanent VPs that cannot be taken away from you. This VP marker looks like the Eye of Ra, and that coincides with techs. there are certain techs in the game that provide a VP by themselves, so you can actually avoid combat and purchase VPs without having to fight people on the board. That's what that marker means. This marker is for when you fight in a battle and you're victorious as the attacker. You'll get 1 VP. Doesn't matter how big the battle was. It doesn't matter if any of your guys died or not. It's just if you were the attacker and you won, you get a VP. If you are the defender and you won, you get nothing. So the game awards attacking, as I've been saying, and that's why you get a VP for it. This VP marker will only show up in the 3 or 5 player game, and this deals with that sanctuary of the all gods up there, and I'll explain that in a bit, but you can get a VP from hanging out up there. It's another way to get victory points. The final and most critical way to get victory points is the temple VP marker. And that is at the end of every turn, when everybody's done all of their actions, if you control at least 2 temples, then you'll get that VP marker. And I say at least 2 because if you control 4 temples, you're not going to get 2 VP markers. It's just if you have at least 2, you get 1 VP. That is all of the VP that is available in the game. And once somebody hits 8 VP in the short or 10 VP in the standard game at the end of a round, then that player is the winner. And there's tiebreakers and whatnot, but that's the general concept of the game. Alright, so let's get right into the game, do game setup, and I'll explain how a turn goes. Everybody's going to toss in their turn order markers at the beginning of the game. They're going to be randomly shuffled together and then placed one at a time to determine initial turn order. And then in turn order, everybody gets to distribute their pyramid points. You get 3 pyramid points, and they could be distributed one of 2 ways. You can lay out a level 1, level 1, level 1 pyramid, or you could do a 2-1-0. So if I want like a level 2 blue tech, level 1 white, and then red is a level 0, so it's not in the game yet. You go around the table doing that, then you go around the table distributing 10 of your 12 guys immediately to start the game in your city. So you could put 5 guys there, put 5 guys there. So the final thing you do is everybody gets 1 DI card and places it into their little personal board area. The final thing to do during initial setup is to give yourself $5 on your little player board, and you're ready to go. So there are an infinite number of game rounds until somebody hits the victory condition at the end of any round. The game will be over. So a single game round consists of 2 phases. The first phase is night phase, and the second phase is day phase. At night, there's actual no combat, and a majority of the phase is dealt with simultaneously. The first thing that happens is everybody earns $2 because they're all awesome for playing Kemet. So every day or every night phase, you'll get $2. After that, everybody gets to draw 1 DI card, and then if you have any powers or technologies that happen at night, which is shown by the little night symbol, then they will activate. Like this guy, you'll earn an additional $2. Remember, the Ankh symbol is money, because you've got lightning coming out of your eyeballs. So why not? That would give you an extra $2. Or this guy, at night, gives you an additional DI card, because walking into pools at night is divine intervention. So you get nighttime powers. After everybody's done that simultaneously, then the player in last place will determine turn order for day phase, except in the first round. That won't happen because it was randomly determined. But after that, you'll go by that standard. And if there's a tie for last place, the person that went first the round before will determine the player order for everybody. So that's how you determine player order, and that concludes night phase. You earn $2, draw a card, get your tile powers, and then determine player order. Then you go straight into day phase, and the order of day phase is determined by player order that was just set up by night phase. And during day phase is when you get to use your little player board. You basically have 5 actions, which are shown by these 5 action discs. And in player order, one at a time, everybody gets to pick one action, execute it, and then the next person gets to go in player order until it comes back to you and you get to select another action. The restrictions on you selecting actions are you cannot select the same action twice, and after you've placed all 5 of your markers, you need to have at least one marker in each of the 3 rows. Those are the only restrictions. So, to explain your actions that you can do on your turn, the first is movement. For movement, you can activate one troop and they can move one space. Them's the rules. So your entire troop can activate and move one space. You can leave some of your troop behind and only move a couple. It doesn't matter. You activated a troop and that troop can move. It has one movement point to spend. In addition to its movement point, you can spend money to teleport the troop instead. The restrictions on that are they have to be in one of your own city squares that has a pyramid. If that condition is satisfied, then they can teleport to any obelisk on the map. So there's obelisks there, and that is the only way to get up there, because there's no way to cross the Nile up there. You just teleport directly into the temple or to the sanctuary up there. So to do that, you just take your movement action. You'll spend your $2, because that's how much it costs to teleport, is $2. And they can immediately teleport anywhere they want and then move. Pretty much just like that. They can also move and then teleport. So say I'm here, I could spend my movement point to get back home and then spend the $2 since I'm at my pyramid to teleport wherever I needed to go, like way up on the board or whatever. The only other things for movement are if you're moving across the water, you just follow the arrows, and that is one movement point. So this would go to here, and this actually goes into the temple there. And if I'm attacking somebody else, I can move to right in front of their city walls, and then I have to wait until the next turn. So we've gone through another night phase, and it's a day phase again. Think of it as a siege mechanic. It helps the defending city muster up forces before they get attacked. But you can move up to the city gates, and then on the following turn, you can move in and take over a pyramid. If you gain control of the pyramid, then you gain access to the tech level of that pyramid, and if it's a level 4 pyramid, then you get the temporary VP marker for it. That's pretty much it. Moving on. The next action is recruit. Recruit simply means at a $1 to 1 guy ratio, you could spawn guys onto the map. There's no restriction except for the cash that you can spend and the guys that you've got in your reserve. They do, however, have to spawn into your city. That is the only restriction. You still have to abide by the rule of 5. You can't spawn more than 5 guys into a space. And during your recruit action, if you've got a creature, then the creature can recruit in for free. They can only be recruited into the city, and you can never recruit guys outside of your city walls. If you've got somebody at a temple, then they're stuck there. You've got to spawn guys into your city and then move them to the temple. Okay, moving on. The next action is upgrading a temple. When you take that action, you select one of your 3 colors, and you can upgrade that color. So say I've got level 1 white, and I want to upgrade it to level 2. I'll pick white as my color, upgrade it to level 2, and then I have to pay $2 because I just upgraded it to level 2. You can then, in the same action, upgrade again to the next level up, but you also have to pay that as well. There's no bonus or deductions for doing it in the same turn. So you could go from 1 to 2 for 2, 2 to 3 for 3, or like 1 to 3 for a total of $5 kind of deal. That's the only thing you can do with that action, and the purpose of doing that is to get access to better technology. The next action over here is another movement, just like up there. So you have a total of 2 moves each turn. Over here is the pray action. You take that action and you immediately earn $2. There is a hard cap of 11. You can never earn more than that. So any money earned that would put you above that at any time during the game is lost. So you really have to manage your money so you're not losing out on precious income. But that's the only way that you can get money during the turn. That's another pray action, so you can earn a total of $4 if you want. And down here are the 3 tech up options, 1 per color. So if I wanted a white tech, I would use that action and I would purchase a white technology equal to the level of that color. So if my pyramid was level 3, then I could buy any level 1, level 2, or level 3 white tech paying $1, $2, or $3. I would acquire it, add it to my tableau, and then it becomes an immediate bonus to me whenever that particular power would trigger. Once you own the tech, you don't have to pay for it ever again to get its power. It's always passive. So that's pretty much it for the game. The last thing to go over would be battles. And there's 2 ways that can happen. If your city is occupied, then during your recruit action, you can actually recruit guys into your occupied city spot and immediately start a conflict to try to kick them out. The only other way to do combat is during a movement. If you're moving into a space that's already occupied by somebody else, your movement immediately ends. Even if you had extra moves to go or you could teleport, you can't anymore. Action is done, and you begin a fight. So in a fight, you get everybody has the same number of these battle cards here, and the battle cards will have one of 3 symbols on them, or all 3, or whatever. This is the only number that you're really caring about to win the fight. This is your strength. This is the amount of damage you'll do to your opponent, and that's the amount of damage you defend from your opponent. So you'll pick a card, play it face down, then you have to take another card and discard it. And there's a spot on your board to put your discarded cards so you don't lose track. You discard everything face down. And the purpose of this is you've got 6 cards altogether, and you're going to play 1 and discard 1, play 1 and discard 1. So once you get to your 3rd fight, your opponent doesn't know what 2 cards you have left, because everybody has the same number of cards at the beginning. So you can kind of count cards, and that's a way to defeat that. You can also play any number of DI cards that you want during the battle as well. You just lay them down face down with this card. Once both sides have picked, so say I'm fighting red in this section of the city right here, and he plays this face down. After both parties have been satisfied, then everybody flips up their cards and compares strength. That's all you need to compare when you're trying to figure out who won. Your total strength is going to be the strength of the card plus the number of guys you've got, plus any creature bonus that would provide strength as well, or any technology that provides strength. So in this example, this guy's total strength is 2 plus 5 of 7. And this guy's got 3 guys here, plus 1 is 4. So green won out. Since green was the attacker, green would immediately earn a victory point for winning the fight. And then you would resolve damage. So you'd go to the little damage icons. This guy did 3 damage over here. This guy blocked 1. So he would lose 2 troops back to supply. This guy did 2 damage over here. This guy didn't block any, so he would lose 2 guys back to supply. After that's resolved, the loser of the fight has a choice to make. They can either retreat to an adjacent square that is picked by the attacker, or he can recall his troops and send them back to supply, earning $1 per recalled troop. That's pretty much it. So everybody picks one action at a time, and they go around a board until everybody's picked all 5 of their actions for the turn. After everybody's out of actions, you'll go to the end of day temple stuff that you have to do. For every temple that you own at the end of a turn, you'll earn money. If you control there and there, you would earn $6 altogether. There's little fringe temples that earn you 2, there and there. And then up top is what's called the Delta temples, and they're a bit unique. You have to teleport in to even get there. And once you're there, if you own that temple, then you can sacrifice a guy to earn $5. That's what that temple does. And up there, you can sacrifice 2 guys to earn that Sanctuary VP. You'll get 1 VP for losing 2 guys. After everybody has done that, then any player that has 2 occupied temples will earn the Temple VP, as to where that doesn't count, but the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 5 count. So that pretty much wraps it up. Hopefully it's explained well enough for you to play the game. You basically just tech up to get technology to help you in battle or to help you with resources, all the while you're trying to attack and hold on to points to get victory points. That's pretty much it. So that's the game. If you couldn't tell, I do like it a lot. It's really rising in my ranks pretty fast as far as a quick risk-style attack skirmish game that has that extra layer of Euro so everybody's game can be drastically different. Everybody can get different techs, and everybody fights different ways. It's pretty cool. Not to mention that the freaking minis are like. The minis are incredible. I didn't do anything to this mini. It's how it came out of the box. The level of detail on it is pretty crazy. So, beginner strategies would be don't defend your city. Send your guys out. There's no reason for you guys to stay at home unless you're planning on getting a creature right away. Because then your creature will need guys in your city to link to, and then the troop can go out. Because every victory point definitely matters in this game. It's like Edo, to where every victory point is golden. So take your opportunities, strike opponents when they don't have 5 guys and you do have 5 guys and you have the opportunity to get to them, then I would exploit that and take advantage of numbers. As far as tech trees go, the red color is for attacking and movement. The blue color is primarily for defense and trying to counter red. And the white power is for resource generation. For your first couple of games, if you don't know what tech tree to go for or whatever, then I would suggest going for white. Tech white up to level 2 or 3 off the get-go and get yourself some white powers first. It'll help with your resource management, so you're not going to start the game with $4 or $5. If you pick up white powers, you'll start every turn with like $8 or $9, $10. So it helps recruit guys easier and level up faster, kind of deal. It just, the game comes a bit easier if you're not worrying about money. Don't forget that your every tech tree has a tile or 2 that will award victory points themselves. So if you find yourself in a tight spot where you really can't penetrate defenses for that turn, then go after money. Go after a VP token that way. So all in all, I hope you enjoyed the video. All my generic YouTube stuff, or like subscribe and follow me on Twitter so we can banter about stuff. And I need people to gang up with me to beat up on BRBDC, you punk. And is pretty much it. So until next time, have fun gaming. There's another symbol for that you can use on your opponents. It looks like this weird monolith poop thing. Welcome! Welcome to my cave of games?